everybody. I'm Amarok, and I'm here with my buddy Dylan. Dylan, say hello.
I have 2 weeks to live.
Oh, God. Are you okay?
I'm spending it here, drinking away my frustrations, playing a game. So, I mean, about as good as it can get, right?
As you should. As you should. As you
I don't,
guys
I
get
don't,
this. Go ahead.
I don't know. I hope my death provides entertainment for everyone watching, but
No, you can't die on stream. You can't die on stream or on recording. That's against TOS.
what isn't that? Isn't it like school rules? If someone dies in your class, you get an automatic A. If I die
No,
on stream, don't you get an automatic promotion or whatever?
I wish, but I don't think that's how that works.
Well, let's test that.
Let's not. Please. I don't want to
Well,
lose a friend.
Well, we're about to play a game where we're going to die constantly. I don't know if it'll rub off on us a little bit.
I mean, you do have a point. So, as you guys may have guessed, we are back with Drunk Souls. It's been, God, how long has it been, Dylan?
I think we haven't done this in You know what? Let's actually check the video. We can check the archives and see how long it's been. It's going to be...
I'm going to call us out right here on the recording.
And I'm gonna call you out. This is your shindig. Yeah, this is your shindig.
Okay, so apparently I never got the pyromancy flame from this guy.
Yeah, let's see. Yes, let's see right here.
Oh God, oh God.
Holy shit! I gotta dig for this.
Has it been that long?
Oh, absolutely.
I think last time we did this, it was a stream, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Trying to figure out why I'm missing health in the starting area.
It's been 4 months.
Is it really?
Yeah, and we only got 56 views. So fuck us, right?
Well, that's disappointing.
That's extremely disappointing.
But this one's gonna be better. Maybe. We'll find out.
Debate. Probably not. Like most sequels, we're gonna be very disappointing and very lackluster. And like most sequels, we're going to try and spice it up by one of us dying.
Well, I'm hoping that with everybody else's attention over on Elden Ring, that things are going to be a little better over here on Dark Souls 3. So hopefully we won't run into as many griefers.
But let's see. Let's test that. Because I'm gonna be honest, I played Bloodborne not that long ago. I still ran into a few griefers, so
Hey, don't get me wrong. I don't want to test it, but something tells me we're not going to have a choice.
I want to test it though.
I'm trying to figure out. Let's see. Where are we? Like, what was the last thing that we did?
I think we were. Actually, let me check it. Where were we last? We were at the Keep Runes in the swamps.
Oh, we did. Yeah, we did not make it far.
we didn't even get to fucking what are they called?
We beat the witch.
Dishwashers.
Oh, we're okay. So yeah, we're past the witch, aren't we?
The witch.
Yeah. In the swamp area.
No.
The beginning swamp.
No.
We didn't. So, oh wow, we
didn't even fight that. We just bum rushed it to the poisonous swamp to go fight the Abyss Watchers.
Oh jeez, yeah, we need to go fight the witch.
Are you talking about the Crystal Sage?
Yeah, the Crystal Sage. It's been a minute.
Yeah, no, we didn't do that at all.
Wow. Okay. Let's see. Let's go to the Crucifixion Woods. And let's go do that. We'll start this off with a boss fight.
Alright, let's go do it.
I'm going in completely unprepared and rusty as hell in this game, and we're going straight into a boss fight.
Alright, let's see what
this can only end well.
Oh god, my spells are atrocious. I was really drunk when I did this build last. I got I got Heavy Soul Arrow, Fire Orb, and Boulder Heave. I have nothing.
I don't even remember what build I'm going for. Let's see. I'm going Dexterity apparently.
Oh, of course. Going for the cheese build, of course.
Look, man, if it works, it works.
It's exactly what a power gamer would say.
Look, how long have you known me, and how long have I been a min-maxer?
That's exactly why I hate playing games with you.
uh,
This is why I don't let you play D&D anymore.
Look, just because I was able to summon 13 things to fight on my side that that shot a spell that hit 4 times each and did over 200 damage, doesn't mean that it wasn't a good strategy.
It's not that it wasn't a good strategy, it's just that you're just an asshole. Alright, I'm gonna put down my I'm gonna drop the soap right here by the bonfire.
Okay.
Big tree.
Alright, I'll see if you're dropping it. I don't see it.
Yeah.
Are you sure you dropped the right soap?
Well, the cavernous anus that I have would say yes, I did. Because these crabs out here are about to, munch down on me, you know what I'm saying?
Look, we don't talk about the crabs, okay? That's a private matter.
We are in a swamp. Rig-a-ding, ding, 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 ding.
I don't think it's that kind of swamp.
No, it is. This boulder heave looks like I just shot a big wad of chewing tobacco.
Oh, God.
Yeah, oh, yeah, it's big, so I think it is that kind of swamp.
Oh, I think I found you. Yep, Dumbledore.
I wish I would have done my other wizard name. I just would have looked like Lord Voldemort and said the boy no live.
I don't remember what my character looked like. Let's see.
Let's
take off the mask.
You just took generic Europeo, man.
Oh, that's right. I went basic boy.
Yeah, you should have made your guy
invaded by a dark.
Dumpy.
Really? Already?
Dirty old pickle.
A dirty old pickle.
All right, let's run to the boss fight real quick before we see Pickle Man.
Yep, I'm with you on that. Let's go. I don't want to see a dirty pickle.
I mean, I might.
Oh no, he's right here.
Oh Lord, old dirty pickle. Look, man, fuck off, man. Come on. Yeah, I might be dead.
Dang.
Yeah, I'm dead. I'm fucked. Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Yep. Sorry, bud. You're on your own.
Damn. Well, that's unfortunate.
Hollows were just all after me. Looking like an absolute fucking snack.
So on the bright side, yep, I just sent him home. So, what you can do is you can actually, if it's a boss fight that you haven't activated yet, you can just step just inside of the boss room.
Yeah.
And it'll force him home.
Okay. I also have a seed of a giant tree, so that'll kind of help a little bit if we get invaded next.
True.
Alright, if you want to... Well, you're in the boss fight now. Just go ahead and wreck it.
No, I'm not in the boss fight. I just stepped inside of the room. So I didn't activate the boss. I basically went on the other side of the fog wall.
Alright.
But I am trying to fight my way through. Ah, damn it.
Alright, I can try and...
Dodging is... just gotta remember, dodging is B.
Yeah, let me go ahead and put down my soap a little bit closer to you.
Ooh. Oh yeah, that's right. I've forgotten this one that occasionally when you finish off a group, you'll sometimes get Estus back. I forgot about that. All right, so I'm coming to pick up the soap again.
All right, I'm gonna leave it right at that room where a bunch of those hollows were.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to drop by the bonfire again. All right, I'm on the way. Where at specifically?
Well, give me a second because I just got my ass mulched again. So just go all the way back to the bonfire.
Okay. You take your drink?
Yep.
Fair enough.
All right, let me drop the soap real quick.
Can you drop it softly?
No, you got to drop the soap hard. Otherwise, how are you going to announce to the world that you're vulnerable?
You just slam it on the floor.
I mean, yeah, that's the way they do it in prison, you know?
You just take that, like, the giant brick size soap and just slam it on the floor. It breaks the tile underneath it.
The hell are you talking about? Prison soap is teeny tiny. They don't have the budget for that big brick soap. It's like that quaint, dainty little soap. It's like, a little Lego brick.
Oh, I didn't realize we were going off of prison standards. I thought we were just talking about like home life standards.
Look, in this wolf den, it's pretty gay. Let's be honest. We're gonna go off of there's nothing masculine about Amarok's den. It's all gay fluff here.
God, I hope not.
Those of you watching at home, this is 100%. This is two bros in a den. This is gay.
God, I hope not.
All right, traverse.
All right,
Demon wall.
Witch is here. Hey, Witch, how you doing? How you living?
Hey, girl. Let me see your numbers. Okay, you did a lot of damage to him.
Yeah. There they are. Over here. Ah, dang it. I only have enough to get one combo off.
Fuck. I can't even get a spell off, so I mean, I'm just gonna have to roll melee with this.
Ah, dang it.
Fuck, I am old man. I have no stamina.
Well, that's what happens when you become Gumbledorf.
Well, I could have gone the other guy.
Oh, one more. Yes. Got it. Wow, I only took one hit in that entire fight.
I'm glad you did. I got wrecked.
Dang. Alright, so you ready to do it all again?
Suck my something down real quick. Sure, why not?
Alright.
Critical battle over. Returning to your prison cell.
Is it a nice prison cell?
No, it's got this really scary man that gives off really uncomfortable vibes with it.
Is he on the top bunk or the bottom bunk?
Guys, he's on the top bunk where he belongs. I like to be on the bottom bunk where I got the floor to keep me company. His name is Chris, and he went to jail for setting a diner ablaze.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, because he said his reason was they fucked up his eggs. They made them over easy instead of scrambled.
Well, I mean, that's a serious matter.
That's not a serious matter.
You don't mess up a man's eggs.
Yeah, you can totally mess up a man's eggs. It doesn't mean you need to burn the place down. Alright, make your way back to this bonfire. We'll make a couple s'mores. We'll roll back in and slap them up.
Alright, well, I dropped the yellow soap onto the ground.
What about the brown soap?
Brown soap is spoken for right now.
I'll say. Those of you at home, you know the joke. Alright, there's your diggity digits. Alright, there you go.
I'm being summoned to another world.
It's going to be a very homosexual world.
God, I hope not.
I mean, I could get real.
I don't know if I could live in a world without ladies in it.
I mean, just because it's a gay world doesn't mean, there aren't ladies, They're just not into you. It's the problem.
I mean, and that lies the issue for me.
Well, get over yourself. This is 2023.
I can have my preferences.
Not in this world, no.
Alright, sorcerer's down. I'm gonna stab this guy right in the ass real quick. Ow!
Alright. Are you so yellow?
Because I'm running the sunlight metal, my guy.
Boo!
Praise the sun, my dude. Praise the sun.
Fuck the sun. Shit's gonna go on like 1,000 years at best.
Look, if you try to fuck the sun, Escanor's gonna have an issue with that.
Well, he's dead, so fuck it.
Is he?
Yeah, he's dead. I'm pretty sure he's dead.
I haven't watched Seven Deadly Sins, so I don't know. He might be.
Oh, you're talking about fucking shitty ass anime. Get out of here with your weeb shit.
No, anime's great. Ow!
If you say so.
I'm getting fucking rocked over here. Why am I having so much trouble with these guys?
All right, I'm coming back.
Oh, I died.
Oh no, I just backstabbed a guy.
I fell in the hole.
Those of you watching, we take a hard stance on this channel. No anime, kids. No anime, no K-pop, no furries. Get out of here.
I cater to all audiences.
What a commercial, man. What a man. What a Disney move. It's like, we turn nobody away. We don't support you, but we don't turn you away. Give us your money. What a commercial view. What a Disney take you have, sir. You are truly a commercial shill.
Look, man, I do not shut out anybody. I welcome all to my channel.
Please, I need money. I am so poor right now. I need money, please.
Look, man,
I won't do anything. I'll suck your dick.
Look, man, I can't even afford Outback, or not Outback, Cookout right now. I was going to say a lot of people can't afford Outback right now. Yeah. I can't afford Cookout.
You can't afford Tomboy Outback.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so.
All right. Let me sweetie right up here for Shadow Wizard Money Gang. Oh,
where you want me to drop the sign?
Just go back to the bonfire. Holy shit! These guys are about to come up on me. All right, let me rest. Yes, thank you. All right, just drop it by the bonfire. I'll get back to you.
All right, it's dropped.
All right, let me pick up that soap because that's a nice.
I mean, summoned.
You got.
Did you summon me?
Well, you dropped that soap. I mean, that was basically the dinner bell ringing.
I just want to make sure it was you summoning me. Praise the sun.
The sun is lame. The sun makes rainbows, and rainbows are gay.
See.
Let's get. All right, don't fight the guys. Let's just make a bum rush for the boss room.
Yeah, I just want to take out that guy so he doesn't trigger. Ow! Why me?
You only took like a pubic hair of health off. Come on. I'm literally playing a wizard. I got a D6 for a hit die. I got no constitution. I may as well just like have like glass in my stomach in terms of like my health.
Ah, thank God we made it in.
Oh God!
Dang it.
I do no damage.
So I think 4 hits. You can get about 4 hits in before he disappears.
Yeah. Boulder drop. Okay, that was a little better.
Yeah.
I mean, that was mostly you though. All right, let me.
That boulder drop is really good for stunning though.
Go get him!
Shoot him, man! Shoot him!
Oh, shoot him! Spit your tobacco at him!
You're the spell boy. Shoot him!
Well, I don't have a lot of spells right now, which is sad to say. Spells are really expensive. College is expensive, you guys.
You didn't go to wizard school?
I mean, I did not want to take your approach. I don't want to be $60,000 in debt.
Shit, man. It's a rough one. Oh, can we?
Yeah.
Oh, dang it! I thought we were gonna be able to finish him.
No, we're gonna have to. Oh boy, this is gonna be rough. We got through that in the first barrage.
Where's the purple guy? Where's the purple guy? That's the blue guy. Ow! Spell hurts.
Ow!
There we go. There it is.
Thank you. Thank you. Damn.
Ooh.
Yeah, like this shit up.
Actually, I don't remember. What was our challenge again? Did we have to take a drink every time we did Estus, or was it every time we died?
I mean, I think it's like every time we died, we had to take a sip. But I mean, let's be honest. Like, are we really keeping track anymore?
No, not really. In fact,
oh, speaking of which, we should probably talk about like our previous run of this. For those of you who are not watching, we actually attempted this challenge before, and it ended really, really bad.
I honestly thought Dylan was gonna die for real.
I'm genuinely surprised I didn't die. For those of you who were not there for the original run or did not hear the story from the previous video, we did a shot every time we died. So the idea was that anytime like me or Tristan died, we each had to take a shot, so we were sharing in the pain. So what happened was we clocked in about Tristan, how many shots was it? I'm remembering it was like over 150 shots through the entire playthrough, and that was
Yeah.
base game.
Through the entire playthrough, we had over 100 shots each,
Yeah.
and I honestly thought you were about to kick the bucket whenever you were heaving your guts up after one session.
Well, here's the thing I want to go ahead and establish for everyone. I was a trooper, and I was true to my word. I did a hard shot of hard liquor each time. I didn't know you were pussing out and doing lighter substances behind the screen while I was doing the hard stuff.
So I only did the light stuff for the first one or two.
Yeah.
That's because I didn't know that I didn't know what alcohol content the stuff you were drinking was. So I wasn't gonna go super heavy.
I was drinking bottom shelf shitty ass tequila, the worst thing possible. I was drinking like I don't even remember the brand, but I guarantee it was bottom shelf tequila. It's the worst thing. Dog's asshole tasting like liquor.
I mean, at least you know not to buy it anymore.
I absolutely like. I learned very well through that challenge. Like, yeah, tequila is not my drink of choice, sadly.
By the way, drop the soap just outside the boss door if you can.
Of which boss door?
The sage. And actually, looks like you can't drop it right outside. You might have to go to the next bonfire.
Okay, I'll do that. But yeah, so to continue on, there was one night we were doing the Smoldering Lake, and
oh my god,
yeah, that bout put me in the hospital because we died
so many times.
I don't remember an exact number, but I know one thing for sure. I drank a lot, like, and I did it like shot for shot. I win. I remember specifically, I was at a point where like, okay, I need to eat something, like, or I'm probably gonna get hurt.
That stupid ballista is what kept killing us.
Oh yeah. So I remember specifically, like, I ate like an entire bag of popcorn because like my stomach was basically empty after like 4 hours of gaming. I made that entire bag of popcorn, and I immediately the next moment I exited all of it out back into the bowl once I finished it.
Oh god. I hate that for you, man.
Yeah, the moment I finished that popcorn, it just immediately came back up in the bowl. So I think I'm starting to remember I did like 23 shots of tequila. And thank God, because it was basically all gone after that. I was eating and I was drinking a lot of water during that. So, I mean, I wasn't going to probably die, but that was probably like one of the hardest nights of drinking I've ever done.
Yeah, and I did not want to repeat that, mainly for our safety. Because to be honest, that was probably one of the stupidest decisions we could have made.
I mean, it was, but it's like we learned our lesson for that, so yeah, we can't be too mad at it. We had a good experience and we got something out of it, which is fuck tequila and fuck shot for shot.
I mean, still doing a mixed drink for every time we die is still pretty rough.
Well, we also learned a very harsh reality of, like, no matter how good you think you are at Dark Souls, you're never as good as you think you are.
Nope, never.
And that was a hard lesson that we all learned. Like, yeah, we're good at Dark Souls. Here's the scary part. No, we're not.
I mean, I think collectively we came to the conclusion that the two of us had put close to 6,000 hours into this game alone.
Yeah, probably more than that now.
Probably.
Because I've done a couple playthroughs after that, and we're also doing this, so... Because, you know, despite all my playthroughs, I still haven't beaten everything. I still haven't done the...
oh, that's right. You haven't done DLC yet, have you?
Yeah, no, I did the Painted World, and I did... Yeah, I just did the Painted World in the base game. I didn't do the Ring City.
Ring City is probably my favorite DLC that FromSoft has ever done.
All right,
they buffed up the NPCs. I'm struggling with this Fallen Knight. Oh my god.
All right, this clergy woman's about to fucking get it. I'm about to whip out my Bible and show you how to do it.
One more hit. That's all I need.
Oh, you!
Damn it!
You dirty ass testicle tickler. Oh, fuck you!
You don't know she tickles testicles. You
I
don't know
know
that.
she does. She's a clergy woman. I know what she does. I know what the church is guilty of.
Oh, thank God. I had one
Oh,
Estus left. Alright, so I killed the night
uh,
guy.
fuck you. Fuck you. That's what you deserve. Ah,
She just wants a hug.
I don't want to give her a hug. I know what a priest hug means.
I mean, her hugs are pretty fiery.
I don't think that's appropriate.
What? She sets herself on fire and gives you a hug. What's wrong with that?
What when you say sets herself on fire? What are the implications of that?
Exactly what I said.
I don't think that she means that. I think that she means a different kind of fire.
Oh, well, I mean,
I
you
shouldn't
shouldn't
bore
talk to
you.
her that way.
Okay. Oh fuck this. Oh no no I'm in, hold on. I'm in a little bit of a scuffle right now. Oh man, this guy's railing me.
Oh, are you fighting the knight now?
Yeah, I'm fighting.
Yeah, he's. I finished him with one Estus left. It was tough. The
Well,
advantage you have though is that you can, if you have some spells, you can fight him at a range and have a better chance.
yeah, no, I'm cheesing it right now with some spells.
Oh shit! I forgot. There's another guy up here I gotta fight.
He's easier though.
Ow! Keeps throwing knives at me. Rude. Let's see if I can lock onto him. Stop breaking.
Yes, I got him. Thank
Lock
goodness.
on, lock on. Here we go. And drop. Oh, come. Really? Ooh. That was a good combo.
Okay.
Come on back. Come on back. Yeah, boy.
All right, I got the Paladin's Ashes. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna go back and level up real quick.
You know what? That might be a good idea. I'm sitting on 15 grand.
I gotta go deposit all my money for the Shadow Wizard Money Gang.
So let me go back to the Shadow Realm real quick.
Do I want to get his rapier? I don't think I do. Oh, but that big old brim hat, though.
Welcome, host.
Don't it look tasty?
Very well, then taken.
I mean, like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I'd probably be like pulling all the honeys with that hat, but I really need to like bump up my constitution because being a wizard sucks.
I'm gonna get my endurance up to 20. I think everything else will be fine for right now.
What is my endurance at? Oh, oof. My endurance is at a 14.
You're a wizard. You don't have endurance.
Yeah, I was about to say, I'm a wizard. Like, endurance, what is that?
You read
I got-
books. That's what you do.
Hello again.
Yeah, the heaviest thing I can pick up is a tome. Okay, I can do 2 level ups. Let me just bump it all into intelligence. Fuck it.
You read another book.
I read half of a novel, yes.
Oh, champion.
More than I've read.
I read the first part of Dune, which I actually have. I need to get back and start reading Dune again because I don't know if you noticed the second movie trailer dropped.
I've been hearing things about it, but I haven't seen anything. I don't think I've seen the first one.
You haven't seen the first one?
I don't think so.
If you like sci-fi, like I think you'd like it. This is a good interpretation of the source material.
Wait, what's it on? Like, what is it?
HBO Max.
No. Like, premise.
God, that's a fucking thing. All right, so let me put this into in the most simple terms possible. It is just Game of Thrones in space.
Really?
Yes, because a lot of people like a big turnoff. A lot of people have with Dune is they try to come at it like it's Star Wars, or they try to interpret it like it's Star Wars. Don't do it like that. Interpret it like it's Game of Thrones. Everybody has their own agenda. Everybody's trying to gain power, and there are really no good guys.
Okay.
That's the best way. Like you can like absorb Dune as a concept.
So basically, pick a guy and hope they die.
I mean, yeah, because like there are like a couple people that I do think like, okay, I don't like you like how you do things, but I get why you do them.
Okay.
Like
As long as I don't have to go through another Joffrey.
yeah. Well, no, I don't think like there's kind of a Joffrey in it, but it's like they're so cool that you don't mind them.
Okay.
But like all in all, like Dune is a really cool franchise. Like I'm reading the book right now, I'm really enjoying it, and I gotta say that the first movie is a very accurate depiction of the source material in a very like mainstream way. So I would say watch the first Dune, and if you don't like it, you probably don't need to watch the second movie. But if you like it, like just stick with it because it's good.
Okay. Fair enough. I'll check it out.
Because it is like really high fantasy. Like if you really like bizarre stuff, you'll like Dune.
When you say bizarre fantasy, what do you mean?
So basically, the way they to kind of go ahead and nerd out a little bit. I'm sorry for those of you watching. I'm
How
about
dare
to
you.
go on a little tangent. So basically, like, how do I define this? Space travel is not in conventional ways, if that makes sense. The way that they do space travel is that they don't have computers because they had like a Terminator situation happen in the past. So they have people who are computers.
So, Android type situation?
No, it's like they literally put them through rigorous training and mental discipline to make them like computers. There's no like artificial component in them. It is just like they train them rigorously to basically mentally function as computers. They have these
Really?
people called mentats who are basically like human computers. They can literally like just basically calculate and do a lot of shit without actually like having to keep like a journal or like a ledger or anything like that. They can just do.
Huh. Wow.
Yeah. So, but to get back to it, like so of course they don't have computers. So the way that they do space travel is they have these people called navigators, who basically use this substance called spice to kind of expand their mind a little bit, and it's so that they can basically fold space in on itself to basically teleport, and that's how they space travel.
Holy crap.
Yeah. And that's like a big theme is like the substance they use to spice only comes from one planet, which is Arrakis or Dune. And that's like a big plot point for like the whole book. But yeah, it's like real high fantasy. Like it's just
High fantasy in
it's
space.
yeah, it almost kind of borders that. It's very high fantasy in a lot of ways.
Yo, I had a bone shard and didn't know it.
You,
I could
you
have
might want
used
to use that. You might want to use that. But yeah, if you like Game of Thrones, I think you'll like Dune.
Okay, yeah, I'll check it out. So the next question I have is, are we going cathedral or are we going to take on the are we going to try to take on the crap, what are they called? The
Abyss Watchers.
Yeah, Abyss Watchers. God, it's been so long since I played this game.
Okay, let me ask this: how many torches or braziers do you have lit?
I think I got them all.
If that's the
check.
case, I was about to say, if that's the case, then let's go ahead and do the Abyss Watchers first, because I have like one more torch to light, so I got to do that, and I'm basically ready to fight them.
Yeah, let me check that out. All right, let's see. Nope, not that way. This way. Nope. I only have one.
Yeah, you might. Let's go ahead and do the deacons then.
Yeah, you want to handle the deacons next?
I mean, let's go ahead and handle all the priests first. I mean, you know,
Just get all the priests out of the way.
yeah. Let's just go ahead and get that you know, that uncomfortable experience out of the way.
All right, so I'll meet you at Cathedral of the Deep Bonfire.
What, in the big church?
Yeah, well, I'll meet you at the bonfire in the church because I think trying to get through this initial section with two people was going to be a nightmare.
Yeah, because I still got to fight Spider Guy, and I got to get through all those fucking dogs.
Yeah, I'm just going to book it through. Wait.
All right, Spider-Man.
Run away! Run away! God, I'm glad I boosted my stamina. Ooh! Why are they? Oh, they're glitching. That's not fair. Oh, that one glitched through the rock. That's not fair. You can't do that. You can't break the law of physics. That's not right. How am I supposed to fight you if you break the laws of physics?
Fuck, I am a wizard. I am weak. I'm like hitting this guy as hard as I can with my sword, and I'm doing barely 3 digits of damage.
That's what happens when you don't put any points into your strength, my guy.
Well, I'm sorry, I have to have some brains in this, because, I mean, magic is hard. Okay, killed him. Fuck, spider shield, whatever.
Let's see. What is my intelligence? I have intelligence of 10. I haven't read a book in my life.
Yeah, you have, the best you've read is Jack and Jill at best.
What's that?
You never read Jack and Jill?
What is Jack and Jill? Can I eat it?
I mean, you can eat. Yeah, I'm not going to say anything. No, I don't want you to get demonetized. I'm not about to kill your YouTube career right now. I'm trying to think. What are some other kid-friendly books? Okay, you read one Lemony Snicket book, and that's it. You read the first of the series of unfortunate events, and that's it.
That's it. That's all I got.
I was unfortunate. I read a lot of those books. I read like the first 7 of them.
I don't, actually, to be honest with you, I don't think I've ever read any of them. I think the only thing
You're not missing much.
The only thing that I have as far as experience in that story world is the movie that came out.
The one with Jim Carrey?
Yeah, and quite honestly, I wasn't really impressed with it.
Really?
Like it was good, but it wasn't one that really held my attention. Like I'll be honest, I've seen the movie, but I can't tell you anything from the movie. I don't remember any of it.
I'll be honest, I liked it just because like I grew up on Tim Burton shit, and that movie reads like a Tim Burton movie, like Mad Hard. So I mean, I liked it, and I genuinely like the first 3 or 4 books, which the movie is based off the first 3 books when the series is its strongest. But I definitely get why people don't like it. Like as someone who's read most of the books, they get real boring real fucking fast. So I mean, I get why people don't like it, because it's just basically the same shit every fucking book with like just like a new slight twist to the story, and it's not very fun after you get past book 5.
Can we talk about how one of the items that you find as soon as you get into the cathedral is a notched whip?
I mean, you know, you gotta. It's gotta be honest. You gotta whip them boys into shape. You know what I'm right? All my Catholic boys in the chat, go ahead and type F for you know, you got it.
Jeez.
Yeah.
I'm glad I'm not monetized yet.
I'm sorry, man. Go to church and you'll know.
Look, we're fighting a battle with the church right now.
We're fighting the good fights. Lord works in mysterious ways, and that way is through young men. You know what I'm saying, boys? You know what I'm saying, fellers?
Where am I picking you up at? Are you at the church yet?
Give me 1 second. I am in a turf war with some fucking dogs right now.
Did you not pick up the magical squeaky toy?
I'm fucking fighting for every stick I got. I need like a strength buff ASAP. The only way I'm getting it is if I fight every dog in this alleyway for that bone.
And if it's worth it.
Alright, I'm taking the back way. That's what she said. I already took it from you.
Darn it, he beat me to it.
Alright, I think I'm good. Now I just gotta get past the kamikaze.
I'm in the graveyard with the constantly resurrecting undead.
Alright, I'm about to hit the church bonfire in just a sec. I just gotta open up the doors. I gotta do that.
Trying to get these items. Oh, I got the Asura Greatsword. Sweet.
Alright, let me light this bonfire.
Bonfire lit.
Let me go get that.
Ah, damn it.
Let me get that whip real quick, because I want to have some fun later.
Oh, let's see. Do I have a torch? Please tell me I have a torch. I need a torch. I need a torch.
Shit, I gotta equip my torch real quick.
Do I? Oh my god, I don't have a torch.
Oh, you didn't buy a torch?
I didn't buy a torch.
Oh no, you're gonna have a real bad time
Oh
here,
my
bud.
god. I'm getting ready to get hit with so much bleed.
I hope you like getting sucked on, because that's how you're gonna be doing right now.
Oh my god. I'm not ready for this bleed pop.
Well, here it just goes to show you, maybe bleed builds were the way to go for this.
Okay, that actually wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be, but it's still not good. Yeah, the freaking infesting maggots. I hate those because they literally stay on you and deal so much bleed damage. I might as well wait for another one to pop before I decide to heal.
Let me grab that S shard real quick. Let me run back in. Let me get that notch whip one more time because I want to do some double time with the altar boys.
Careful now.
No, I don't have to be careful. God protects. The Emperor protects.
Oh, thank God, it only hit me for one bleed proc. Oh, thank God.
All my Warhammer boys in the chat, go ahead and type WA for if you got that reference.
That's one thing I need to learn more about is the 40K. There's so much stuff in 40K.
Good fucking luck with that, my guy.
Why is it too much?
It's a lot. I mean, I can give you the Cliff Notes version of it, but I mean, even then, that's like, you want to talk about some high fucking sci-fi fantasy, like that is some high fucking sci-fi fantasy right there.
I mean, I've been told it's a lot.
Yeah, I mean, the Cliff Notes version is like, it's just really, really far in the future. Humanity worships a desecrated wizard king who sits comatose on a soul-sucking throne that allows for space travel, while basically everyone is like in a fascist, like, religious regime dedicated to him.
So nothing's really changed.
Yeah, basically nothing's really changed. The only difference is like, okay, like we got a lot of people with laser guns, power swords, chainsaw swords, and power armor.
Chainsaw sword sounds fun.
They're cool. They're like a staple of the franchise.
God dang it, I got hit with maggots again. I didn't notice that.
But yeah, I love Warhammer. I get why people hate it though, because I mean it's a lot and it deals with a lot of subject matter that I feel like a lot of people, especially in today's time, are just not really keen on trying to, you know, talk about or utilize in any piece of fiction.
I mean, I don't hate it, mainly because I don't really have an opinion to form on it.
I mean, like, I would say this.
Hit with the bleed. No.
Yeah, bleeding. I mean, it just goes to show you maybe bleed builds are not, you know, not fun for the other person.
Look,
but yeah,
as long as I'm not on the receiving end of a bleed build, I'm fine.
That is such a selfish mentality. Fuck you for that. Well, at least I don't have to experience it. I mean, fuck the other guy, you know, whatever.
Yeah, it's okay.
Selfish motherfucker.
Well, okay. What about you? You sit back and fire magic bullets from afar.
Look, it's a viable build. I don't try to bullshit people with it. When they fight a wizard, they know what they're getting into. It's like, all right, well, I'm about to get cheese with some spells with bleed build. It's like, all right, well, I'm basically about to get, like, you know, drain dry, and while this asshole sits back and does nothing.
That sounds like a magic build too.
No, it doesn't. You're just cheap shotting people.
You just sit back and just snipe people. You
don't
get down into the fight. You don't get into the nitty gritty.
Here's the thing: what makes my build the Chad version of what you're saying? I actually go up and I do unique stuff. You just do some bullshit shenanigans and take advantage of broken ass status effects. Meanwhile, I'm over here doing Shadow Wizard Money Gang shit and doing cool ass spells while your ass is sitting back there just watching a dude just get drained dry. Fuck you.
I mean, it's their fault for getting hit.
Okay, whatever. It's like, that's only like the equivalent of a rich person saying, "No, sorry, you're poor. Get over it, bitch."
Damn.
Yeah, it's you. That is you. But anyway, back to Warhammer. It's like, yeah, it's a cool fun. Yeah, to change the subject. Here's the thing. It's a cool franchise. I like the games within reason. I don't really care for the company, but it's a cool thing if you can get into it. Like, I'm not gonna lie, it's a lot to get into, but if you can get into it, you know, it's a pretty fun time. You know.
I'm gonna go buy a torch.
I enjoy the money. I enjoy the games. I enjoy the models. I'm actually.
I was gonna say, what do you mean you enjoy the money?
I enjoy the money, you know, like
What money do you get from 40K?
I get the money I spend goes towards the entertainment of a game, the camaraderie from friends that I enjoy playing the game with. So,
Okay,
you
that's
know,
not what I thought you meant.
here's the thing, you know, if you spend money on a hobby, that's not a bad thing because if you get enjoyment out of that hobby, is it really wasted money?
No, I can agree with that.
There you go. You know, like I enjoy, like, you know, the money, the price tag for it really does suck. I'm not gonna lie, that's a huge pill to swallow. But you know what? I enjoy painting the models. I enjoy playing the games. I enjoy the lore and the camaraderie I have with friends and you know people in the hobby. So you know, whatever.
I mean,
I don't mind spending a little bit of money.
I gotta agree with you on that price tag. That price tag be high.
Oh my god, that is like a fucking box of models, like anywhere from $50 to $60. Oh my god, that's a hard. That is such a hard pill to swallow.
And that only gets you like what, 5 models? Maybe.
It depends. It depends on the army you're doing. Because like if you're doing like a horde army, like you know, like a lot of bodies, you know, you can get away with a lot of models in a box, but it kind of comes out the same in a wash. It's like, oh, I can spend $60 on this box of models that has like 10 boys in it, but if it's a horde army, it's like it's basically the equivalent of buying like a normal box that has like 5 or 6 dudes in it. So again, it comes out in the wash anyway.
I mean, I've seen some box sets go for like $200.
Oh, absolutely. There's some ridiculous like box sets out there. It's like a typical start collecting box is anywhere from like 120 to $150, like
Ouch.
which it gives you a lot in it, but it's also like I mean that's still a huge like price tag to swallow.
Really is.
Yeah, but you know that's why I play Kill Team. I play the cheap alternative.
Oh crap! I missed the fireball. Oh, thank God. I'm just trying to open the first door for us real quick.
All right, well, if you're gonna do that, I'm just gonna hang back to the temple and chill out for a bit. While you do that.
Are you at the temple bonfire now?
Yeah, I'm at the temple bonfire. I've been here for a little bit. I've just been kind of
okay.
killing guys and farming a little bit.
Gotcha. That's what I was waiting on. I was waiting on you to get there, so I was just trying to get ahead a little bit while I waited on you. But if you're already there, then never mind. I will grab this item.
But yeah, I would really like to play 40K with you guys. I feel like you particularly would like it because it's very strategic and it plays a lot like a MOBA.
Oh yeah, I would like if I could afford it. I would love to play it.
I mean, if you want, I got plenty of models, man. You know, I got plenty of factions to choose from. I know you're not super big on sci-fi though. I feel like that's like a big kind of hurdle for you to get over.
It depends on the type of sci-fi. There are some sci-fis that I like better than others.
Yeah.
So like, for example, I like Mass Effect's sci-fi.
Yeah.
By the way, did you drop the soap?
No, let me go to the showers real quic.
So like, Mass Effect sci-fi is probably one of my favorites. Mass Effect in general is by far my favorite sci-fi out there. Period of everything I've played. And I play quite a bit of sci-fi. Like as far as like one of my favorite strategy games, Stellaris. It's a sci-fi game. Let's see. What other sci-fi games do I play? I play Elite Dangerous. I streamed that the other day.
Yeah, I saw that.
I would love to be able to play that game with you guys. I feel like it'd be a lot more fun if we had a wing. So like everybody, you get your ship, you form up a wing, and then go and do like bounty hunting missions, stuff like that. I feel like that would be fun. Or if I can get my hands on a large enough multi-crew ship, then one of y'all could be my fighter pilot. I'll take left. I'll take right. You take left. And let's head this way.
Yeah, like I don't know. I feel like a lot of people enjoy like a different flavor of sci-fi, and it's kind of hard for like something because like, you know, I know a lot of people are like, oh, I like Star Wars and Star Trek, but then you're like, okay, I know people who are like, I like really dark, gritty stuff like Warhammer or what is it, like Terminator or something.
Terminator is actually a pretty neat concept in itself.
It is, but I'm also like thinking about that because like when I think of like something like Mass Effect and like Star Trek, I kind of think of like I put that in the category of it's very clean and like refined sci-fi. Like a lot of it is like very new technology. It has like a very glossy feel to it. But like
Uh, elaborate on that a little bit, because I'm not quite understanding what you mean.
well, when you look at a lot of Mass Effect, it's very sparse that you'll see like very grungy, like underdeveloped places. A lot of it is like, let's take the Citadel for example. It's very clean. It's very like glossy, well lit. Like it's very much like this feels like science fiction esque because it's like it's not. It doesn't feel dirty. It doesn't feel lived in. It feels very like new and very like again. It feels very clean and glossy. Whereas like take something like Star Wars, everything looks worn down, like used, gross, kind of dirty and grungy. And I feel like a lot of that is just the fact that like it helps fit to the aesthetic that like this world and this universe is lived in. And
Okay.
to kind of go back to like the other glossy feel with another example is that
You want to take out the Titanite lizard?
yeah, let's do that. With Star Trek. Star Trek feels like very clean and very refined. It doesn't feel very like dirty or used. Everything is very much like new, pristine, like fresh off the factory line, kind of like it just has that like very like fresh feel to it. When you
Okay.
look at something like Terminator or like just going back to 40K again. 40K is dirty, grungy, gross, grimdark. Like it feels like a universe that's been lived in, fought over, and kind of just dilapidated from years and years of like just shit going on because like that's the point and it fits into it. And I feel like that's what separates a lot of fiction is like, is it lived in and fought over, or is it like clean and pristine? You know?
And there are some that kind of have a little bit of both, and I can appreciate that as well. I can't
And I don't.
name any right off the top of my head, but I know I've played a couple where it has kind of a mix of both. So like you'll have your very clean and pristine areas, but then you'll find other areas that are run down or like are like disease is running around, things like
Yeah.
that.
I think a great example of that is Firefly. Like you have places that are very like pristine and clean, but then you also have like the Outer Rim planets, which are like very like very rustic. They don't have a lot of new technology. They're using like kind of like old stuff. And like I don't think that one is better than the other. I think it's okay because like I like Mass Effect. I like the clean, pristine looking feel. I like Deep Space Nine and Next Frontier and all that. But I also like stuff where it's like it's grungy and gross and lived in. It feels like people did shit in it.
I can agree.
Yeah,
What I would like to see more of is I would like to see more like RPG space games that also implement like the dogfights in space and things like that. I feel like there's not enough of that. Like you could have your RPG aspect and then have the oh crap. We gotta go back around. Damn it. We gotta go through the graveyard and up that way.
like I get where you're coming from, but I feel like a big aspect of why a lot of RPGs don't do that is that when you get into like space combat and a lot of other stuff, a lot of what you're kind of looking at kind of dwindles away in terms of a single player aesthetic because a lot of like space battles and like big like conflicts usually revolve around the fact that like there's a major overarching conflict. Like an example is like Star Wars. Dogfights in Star Wars really work because it's usually like within the backdrop of like the rebels versus the Empire, or it's like the separatists versus like the Republic. It works to have like a big overarching war happening where it's like dogfights are common, and it just makes sense for them to be like a prevalent thing. Whereas with like single player experiences like Mass Effect, it doesn't feel as good because it's like, well, there's no real point to doing this because it's like our focus is like, us doing like simple skirmish missions on like, set planets and kind of doing like a more narrative driven thing.
I mean, I get that. But like there was a Ratchet and Clank game. I don't remember which it was. I want to say it was Back in Time. I think that's what it was. It actually did it very well. So like, if when you were traveling from like planet to planet and whatnot, you would actually have to fly the ship yourself to these other locations, and on your way there, you would encounter like skirmishes and things like that. So it kind of it added a different aspect to just the traveling portion of the game.
Well, and I agree, and like I'm not saying like it can't be done, like you can't do dogfights in like a single player experience, but in my experience, dogfights usually work in a more like war game, or at least like there's like an overarching conflict with a lot of other stuff going on. It just feels a lot better to do it in a setting like that versus like a single player role playing experience, because like it should, you know, when you're doing a game like that, the focus should be on the role playing, the exploration, like, you know, the relationships you have with characters. When you get into stuff like, you know, strategy, like dogfights, you know, skirmish battles, you're kind of dipping into like the more wargamey aspect of video games, like the more strategic games of it. So it's like it kind of takes away from like the gameplay for like one aspect to kind of delve into another, and that's really like the line that you have to walk with like a lot of different stuff.
And I can definitely see that. I
Yeah.
just, you know, just thinking back, it was just a neat twist and something you didn't normally get to see.
Absolutely, and I think
It
for
definitely
like
kind of
action,
helped it stand out in my mind.
oh, absolutely, and I think for like an action game like that, it would definitely work. Because like again, like the focus is like on the action and the exploration, which a dogfight battles work pretty well for. But like if you're doing for something like Mass Effect, it doesn't feel as good. And I'll give you an example of how they tried to use it and how it didn't work out. Mass Effect 1, the Mako.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like you see how it is. It's just like you're trying to implement a very strategic and very combat focused thing in a primarily like role play focused game. Granted, the game has combat, but the combat is not really the focal point of the game. A lot of it is the exploration and the role playing and the decision making. A big principle in game design is that you have to like know what your genre is and cater to the strengths of it. You can definitely like deviate from it, but you need to focus on like what your game is about in order to really like set it apart, because if you're trying to do a bunch of different things, you're not going to impress anybody. You need to like set what you're going to do as a priority and do it, because we've seen a lot of games that try to do a lot of different things and fail at it because it's trying to please too many people. Part of what a lot of older games that like really stick by, like
Hey, Magic Dude, you're up.
What?
Magic Dude, you're up.
Ah,
Fire
shit.
away.
If I can get close and lock on to him. But like, you know, like
I
a
see.
lot of older games, like you know, like Fallout, Fallout New Vegas, Knights of the Old Republic. A big reason why they stick out as like old but gold is they know their audience, they target it, and they play into their strengths, which is why they're still iconic to this day. A lot of AAA games now, they try to do too much and they fail at it. So if you're trying to get into the game design, make sure you know what you're trying to do and you actually do it. Don't try and cast a broad net. Find your audience, find what you're trying to do, hit on it.
I can't tell you how disappointed I've been in AAA games lately. Like for example, the what was that? What was that one where you were trapped on a Jupiter moon or something? Is that no, that wasn't Calypso. Was it? Calypso Protocol?
I'm not. I think so. It was kind of like trying to replicate Dead Space.
Something like that. But it was the reason why I didn't really care for it is because it had a unique spin on combat, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. But when you're going to be introducing a game that has a lot of combat in it, and you oversimplify the combat, it takes away that aspect of it being a combat oriented game to begin with. So like for example, you would basically only have to hold one or two buttons to dodge left or right, and then you just counter with your attack button afterwards. That was it. That was combat.
I can agree and
What the hell just
disagree
hit
with
me?
that. I can agree and disagree with that point, because a lot of people, when it comes to combat games, I feel like a lot of people want complexity, but they don't want to stick with it. A great example of this is, did you ever play any Assassin's Creed games before 3?
Yes, I played the first one.
So you remember how complex the combat was in order to do, like, counters, strikes, parries, and all that?
Hold up. Yeah, I can get that.
Yeah, and like after 3 happened, where it was kind of like that same counter thing, like for the lack of a better term, the Batman Arkham kind of aesthetic, where it's like parry, counter, triangle,
Oh, okay.
all that bullshit.
Is your
I
game,
think that
is your game glitching?
nope, my game is fine.
I just lagged hard.
But it's like that. It's like I feel like a lot of people, it's like they want complex combat, but they also gotta they forget the fact that like, fuck, this is a lot of stuff that I have to juggle.
So
And you
like,
also-
there's definitely a border there of overcomplicated, but
Yeah.
when your combat game shouldn't consist of essentially 2 buttons.
I agree, but here's the thing: would you consider Callisto Protocol like an action fighting game, or would you consider it like a horror exploration game? Because to me, that game is trying to replicate Dead Space, which is a horror game, and the focus should not be on combat; it should be on exploration and survival.
Honestly,
So for me, like, I don't mind the combat taking a back seat when it's like the combat is there to help assist in the exploration, the survival aspect. Like the
Ow.
example is like the Resident Evil games. The combat is not the focal point. The survival aspect is where it focuses on. The combat is just there to like intensify that feeling of dread and the horror in the game.
And I
So the
can kind of see both ways. I guess it really depends. Because I can see it both ways now that you bring it up.
Yeah.
So I won't discredit that at all. I personally went into it thinking it was trying to be a combat game,
Yeah.
and more specifically a horror combat game, which
Yeah.
I've seen a couple of those and they've been done well. And I guess I was kind of using them as a comparison.
Yeah. Well, if that's the case, I would say go back and try the game and just keep an open mind about it. Look at it like it's like a horror game, and don't walk in with like an interpretation of it. Just kind of let the game go as you feel. And I feel like you might have a different experience with it.
I mean, there were some aspects about the game that I enjoyed, like the building mechanics that it had for your weaponry and whatnot. I did enjoy that. But I don't know. I can try it again and go at it with a fresh look. But I personally just wasn't impressed the first time around.
Yeah, I can get that. I just again go at it with like a fresh take, and I feel like you might feel a little different about it.
But that won't discredit my previous statement of I've still been disappointed with AAA games.
Oh, absolutely. I'm very disappointed with a lot of AAA games because I feel like AAA games have the same issue that a lot of movies nowadays have, is that they try to do too much and they fail at everything. Like, what is that quote by like Shang Tsung in The Art of War? When you try to please everyone, you end up pleasing no one. And I feel like that sentiment is very true with a lot of AAA games. When you try to do too much, you end up having a lot of stuff that's lackluster, and you never really hit on things, which is kind of going back to my statement previously, which is know what you're trying to do and hit on that. Hit the advantages and hit what makes
Watch out.
it good.
Run away.
But yeah,
I would love to farm these guys
yeah,
because the twin swords that they drop are amazing.
yeah, but they're a bit of a bitch and a half to fight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, you were saying.
But yeah, previous statement is just know the game, know what you want, and hit on it. You don't have to keep doing a bunch of stuff. Like a lot of people have it has to be open world, it has to be this, it has to be that. It's like no, find what your game is good at, find what you want it to be good at, and hit on that. Don't add a bunch of unnecessary shit. The stuff you add into your game is supposed to enhance what the main concept is. Example: if you're trying to make a horror game, look at other horror games and what they do. Well, Resident Evil Really good example. RE2 Remake is a really good example of what you need to do if you're trying to make a horror game that is about survival, resource collection, and management. If you're trying to make a game where you're trying to feel the sense of dread and feel the sense of like, okay, I have to manage everything and I have to be careful about how much I spend and what I need to find and puzzle solve, that's what you need to look at. Find what your game is good at, find what you want it to be good at, hit on it, and that's really the end of the story. Don't add a bunch of unnecessary shit that bogs the game down and dilutes what you're trying to do.
And I 100% agree with you on that. I feel like too many people get caught up in the, okay, how can I cater this to the largest audience possible, instead of focusing on just creating a good game.
Yeah.
Because if you make a good quality game that people will actually enjoy, your audience will come.
Yeah, because like example right now, what we're playing, Dark Souls is very much a game that it knows what its audience is and it caters to it. And look where it is. It's gotten multiple sequels. It continues to be a staple in the game franchise that it inspires. It knows what it is. It tries to hone in on what it's good at and what it needs to be, and look where it is. It's evolved and it standed the test of time. Same with God of War. It knows what it is, and it's created like a lot of people who are trying to mimic it because it's so good at it.
Another prime example is also another FromSoft game, Elden Ring, which I think.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like in that, it's like it's evolved to where it's like it still knows its audience and it still keeps it fresh.
Like one thing that Elden Ring definitely proved is that if you make a good quality game and you actually pay attention to your audience, know what your audience wants, and cater to it, they'll buy the game. And they prove that they actually, I think Elden Ring holds the record now for most copies sold in a month.
Yeah. And to kind of like hit on like what you're saying is just that like everybody tries to like make it to where they cater to everybody. A big reason that like a lot of movies fail is because they do that. And I'll give you an example. It's like how many movies in like the past like 5-10 years, give or take, have the same feel. They have a huge budget. They have A-list actors. They have an incredible story and idea in them, but they feel so clinical. Like they feel like they're like so safe. They don't try anything new. It's just like they have everything going for them, and yet they feel like they go nowhere.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of trends and tropes have kind of been overused to the point where they're predictable now.
Well, it's not even that. It's just like you have every advantage going for you. And I'll give you an example. You ever see the movie Ad Astra?
No, but I've heard of it.
The idea of the movie is really good, and I went to go see this like with someone. The idea of the movie is that like it's a very practical look at like how humans have like colonized other planets. It's got Brad Pitt, it's got Tommy Lee Jones, and Mark Ruffalo. They have like a lot of like A-list, like great actors. They have a really cool premise in the movie. They have an amazing soundtrack, a huge budget behind them. You know, they got every advantage to make like a really good, like knock out of the park movie. And yet you're watching this and it's so dry, it's so boring, it's so predictable and again clinical. It's like, how is this like unentertaining? It has every advantage going for it to be like a really good movie.
And that's kind of what I was getting at, is like people don't, it feels like a lot of the movies, they don't surprise you anymore.
Yeah, it's all predictable, it's all safe. It's like nobody takes risk anymore or challenges themselves to like make something new and like try to like, you know, evoke something different in their audience. And it's really boring because like I feel like if you would just try, experiment a little bit, it can go a long way.
It really can, and I don't think enough people recognize that.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's all about that almighty dollar. It's like we have to like hold ourselves to shareholders. We have to hold ourselves to like, you know, recouping losses. Because like I can't remember who told me this. Hold on, I got you. Like someone told me like they kind of like broke this like a little point, is that if a movie doesn't at least at minimal make double what it costs to make in the box office, it's considered like a flop.
Really?
Yeah, if it's so like let's say a movie takes $1 million to make. If it doesn't at least make $2 million in the box office, it's considered a flop.
Wow, I had no idea.
Yeah, if it doesn't make double what it costs to produce, it's a bad movie in the eyes of like producers and like directors and like in general, like all that stuff. And I feel like that's really dumb because it's like like the financial success of a movie shouldn't dictate how it's good. Like, yeah, it can be a financial flop, sure, and that considers it a failure. But if people really like it, who fucking cares? Because I mean, you look at a lot of like quote unquote cult classic movies, like they stand the test of time. Like hell, Mad Max was like a fucking like bought and paid for movie by like, hey, do me this and I'll pay you in a case of beer type movie. And people still regard it as like one of the best practical effects movies or whatever. Like the Thing remake was like like not considered like all that good, but you look back at it, people fucking love that movie because like of all the practical effects and all the heart and performances that went behind it.
I mean, and another thing that I think a lot of people don't realize is you don't need a huge budget to make a good movie. Look at Deadpool.
Not. Well, it's just like look at like other simple movies. Like you ever seen My Dinner with Andre?
No.
It is literally a movie about two people sitting down at a restaurant and having a conversation.
Really? That's it?
That's it. That's the whole premise of a movie. And like they have like really deep conversations. The performances are really well. The idea behind it is really great, and it's just it goes to show you that like
I'm gonna die.
Hold on, I'll take some run hits.
I have no more stamina, or I have no more health.
I have no more health or Estus. But yeah, that's the premise of the movie. Like two people sit down and have a conversation at dinner, and like that's all it takes, and it's a pretty good movie. Like you don't need a lot of fancy effects. You don't need like a backstab. It's just it's a good movie about two people sitting down having a genuine heart-to-heart talk about something, and that's it. Sometimes you got to go with the basics.
And quite honestly, there's nothing wrong with that. There's some really good movies that are just really just simple aspects.
Yeah.
Like crap, what was the name of it? Oh yeah, what was the movie where the dude was stranded on the island? Had the volleyball.
Tom Cruise movie?
Yeah.
Castaway.
Like very crap. We're getting into
Oh boy, Longfinger Kirk. We are about to get really there he is. I see him.
See if you can deal some damage from afar.
Alright.
Is he gonna try he's gonna go after me?
Oh!
What happened?
A little thief got me. I'm down. Damn. I'm out for the count. Sorry, this is gonna have to be all you.
And I'm done. I got him down past half health though.
But yeah, I feel like you could totally just do a movie where like a guy just sits down with himself and has like a good conversation, or like it discusses something. Like I feel like a lot of people, it's like, oh, it has to have this, it has to have this, it has to have this. It's like, no, you can go with something very, very simple. Like there's that movie with what is it? Who are the actors? Who was in The Lighthouse?
I haven't seen that one. I've heard my mom has seen it, and she's a fan.
I have not seen it. I've heard great things about it. It's fucking God. What is his name?
Where's the soap at?
Give me 1 second. I dropped my soap. God, who are these fucking actors? Willem Dafoe and God, what's his name? Twilight guy, new Batman.
Oh. Crap. What is his name?
Fuck, I'm about to look it up.
Look, I don't know actors, man. I don't know actors. I know a handful of actors, and that's about it.
Robert Pattinson.
Okay, yeah, that name sounds familiar now.
Yeah, the whole premise of the movie is it's two dudes in a lighthouse, and they're slowly losing their mind, and it's regarded as a pretty good movie. Like it's just like you can go simple, like another movie that like I have a little bit of vitriol that this movie didn't win Best Oscar or Best Picture, but you ever see La La Land?
Yes, I have.
I really love La La Land. I thought it should have won Best Picture when the Oscars came around because it was that and Moonlight, which Moonlight is a good movie, but I don't think that it should have won. I thought La La Land should have won, but I digress. You know, it's just about.
What was that movie about the detective who was trying to figure out how the escapee got out of the asylum, and then it turned out that the escapee was him?
Ooh, I'm trying to think. I know what you're talking about. I can't remember the name.
I can't remember it either, but I remember it's one of my favorite movies to watch when I see it on TV.
Yeah.
Ah, God, what's the name of it? I can't remember it. Ow!
Oh, ouch.
Fuck!
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I can't think of that. I'm dead.
Dude.
Wizard, no health. But yeah, it's just like, you can go really, really simple with like your movie premises. You don't have to go like, break the bank in terms of like, a lot of like, extravagant things. Like all you got to do is have a solid story written out and like very likable and presentable characters. You don't have to like be Marvel every single time, which I have my own gripes with that, but I'm not going to get into that because I feel the last thing I want to do is anger the Marvel community.
Oh God, please don't.
Yeah.
We will never recover.
Yeah, we'll never recover. Even though no, I'm not. I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it. That's mean.
I'm gonna see if I can take out this this giant.
That's gonna be a task and a half.
Ah, crap! I forgot Longfinger's here. I just fought him and I forgot about him.
All right, you do that. I'm gonna go ahead and go to Shorey at the bonfire. But yeah, back to it. It's just you can go simple with your movies. You don't have to go super extravagant. All you got to do is have a well-written story, and it will show.
I don't know. Here lately, asking for a well-written story is that's asking a lot.
Oh, speaking of which, did you hear that thing about happening in Hollywood that the Writers Association went on strike?
No.
Yeah, they went on strike. Just I don't know like the full details, but they were like, yeah, we're fucking done. We're tired of being misrepresented and everything.
Wow, I had no idea.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm a little sad to hear it just because it's like, I agree because I feel like in a lot of ways writing has suffered just because, of the aforementioned, like, problems that we're seeing. But at the same time, it's also like, I mean, the best way to improve what you're doing is to be proactive, not reactive.
Yeah, and I feel like a lot of people fall into the whole, oh, we know this works, so if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
No, I agree, and I definitely think that you should challenge yourself. Like, I know a lot of people like to shit on it, but like A24 comes out with some like really, really good films that I feel like really challenges a lot of people. But I also get like, a lot of people's perceptions like, oh, I don't really like artsy movies.
And you also have now I'll be honest, I'm a person who I'll watch some sappy movies every once in a while.
Yeah.
Like I remember growing up, one of the movies that my mom would always watch would be The Notebook.
Yeah.
And it's a really good movie, despite all the crap it gets about it, because I mean it does fall into a lot of your stereotypical name this movie because it's easy to remember. But but at the same time it's a really good movie.
Yeah. You know what's a movie that kind of falls into that I feel like a lot of people give it shit just because it's a Seth Rogen movie is Superbad.
I've only seen that once and I don't remember half of it.
I like the premise of it, which is like the point of it is like you have two people who clearly care about each other, but they're growing apart and they have to accept that. And I really appreciate that because, it's a love story that ends very bittersweet. And it's not like, oh, they're all happy, they get together at the end. It's like, no, we're clearly moving in two different directions, but I still care about you and you're still my friend, even though I'm going in this direction and you're going in this other direction.
Tis life.
Yeah, I mean, that is exactly as you said it. 'Tis life, Sometimes, like, you like someone, but, you're going in one direction and they're going in the other. And the best you can do is just make your peace with that and still find, some common ground on it.
I'll tell you what's really fallen out, and I mean, there's good and bad with this, but I feel like there is an entire genre of movies or writing that has just disappeared over the past couple years. Tragedies.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I feel
but
like every movie nowadays, I feel like every movie has to have a happy ending and whatnot. And like, don't get me wrong, I don't like to watch a lot of tragedies, but occasionally a tragedy movie is really good.
I agree with what you're saying, but I feel like I feel like tragedies are still around, but they've integrated to shows. Like, I would consider Game of Thrones kind of in a lot of sense a tragedy, because do you honestly think that Game of Thrones has a happy ending?
Like, don't get me wrong, Game of Thrones is definitely one that does have tragedy aspects in it. What I'm getting at is, I'm not saying that it doesn't still exist. I'm saying that it is disappearing. Like,
I wouldn't say that.
Game of Thrones to me is the first, like, what I would consider first real tragedy in a long time.
I can see your point, but I disagree with it because, again, I feel like a lot of tragedies have moved over to shows or a lot like smaller things. To go back to A24, have you seen The Witch?
No.
I would consider The Witch like a thriller horror, but I would also consider it in the aspect that you're talking about a tragedy, because it's very much it follows a lot of similar notes to that.
Okay.
And though I haven't seen the movie, I definitely have heard a lot of people remark another A24 film that's come out, which is Beau is Afraid. So, I mean, to me, it's just like, from what I've seen, I feel like tragedies are still around. It's just that I don't say that they're more niche, but I think it's that they've kind of jumped mediums to shows or just more like smaller projects, because I agree with what you're saying. I feel like a lot of people, like, they want that happy ending, because this is my own take. I feel like a lot of people are not very happy in their lives right now, so the idea of seeing media that does have happiness in it is more prevalent, which I'll definitely agree with your point on that. But I think tragedies are still around. It's just that you got to look for them a little bit more distinctly. Not necessarily harder, but just more distinct in what you want.
Okay. I'll concede to that.
Yeah. Because, I mean, there's still loads of it out there. It's just like what you said. I definitely agree with your point. People, again, they're very sad, so I feel like a lot of people, they seek comfort in watching other people be happy where they maybe aren't.
I'm trying to unlock this other door so that way we don't have to. Yep, right there's one.
Okay, let me see the items I can buy from you. Great sword, magic sword, dock hands, Londor braille.
All right, ready for the soap when you are.
Okay, let me go travel back.
Let's see, do I have any more firebombs? Organized storage box. I do not, but I do have throwing knives, so that's good. I'll swap out the firebombs for the throwing knives. There we go. And what rings am I running right now? It's the flamestone ring. That's not a bad one.
Alright, soap is dropped.
Boost attack when HP is full. You know what? I'll swap that out. That's good. And just waiting for the soap to appear.
So this is a question I actually want to ask, because I had this discussion with someone recently. What do you define as a pretentious movie?
Oh God.
Like, I know that's like a real brain tickler, but like I want to get other people's perspective on this, because like
Okay,
again,
so
I had this conversation with someone, but I want to know, like, what do you define as like a movie that like you can watch and look at, and it's just like, this is like really artsy and this is pretentious. Like, what do you define as like a pretentious movie in your own words?
okay, so first of all, before I answer, when you're saying pretentious, what exactly are you looking for as far as like what do you mean exactly by pretentious in this aspect?
And obviously this is my own interpretation of it, but when I define it as like something is being pretentious, I feel like it's being different for different sake. Like, an example is, like, I feel like if a movie is going to be pretentious, it's trying to be different, or it's trying to purposely go against the grain for like the fact of going against the grain. Like, I don't feel like pretentious is necessarily something that you can define in words, but it's something that you can feel. Because you know the stereotypical, like, the snobby artist, or like, like the real, like, uppity, like, kind of like creative person, right?
Yeah.
That's what I would define as pretentious. Someone who's like, they're not doing it because like they have a vision. They're doing it for like brownie points, or they're doing it because like they want to be seen as like more than what they are. Like, again, pretentious is something that I feel like you could define in like an attitude rather than like a definition, if that makes any sense.
Hmm.
I also have just lost you. I have no idea where you just ran to.
So hold on, man. I'm fighting an
Okay,
axe boy.
I see where you're at.
So, I actually had one that I was going to say, but I don't know if it really fits. Because when you were saying something that kind of goes against the grain or is trying to stand out to make a certain point or something, the first movie that popped into my head was, and I'm probably going to get roasted for this in the comments, but probably Fault in Our Stars.
Yeah, I can see that as being a little pretentious.
Oh, you died?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was trying to do and I accidentally dodged and I fucking left off.
Oh crap!
But like, I definitely get your point. It's just like, again, it's just like, to me, pretentious is something where it's like there's no vision or really any like point involved. It's just like, I just want to be like different. I just want to be different for different sake because it makes me feel special. I feel like that's pretentious.
I mean, so, and this is why I said it might not necessarily fit as you were explaining, because it did have a story to it. There was a main plot that it was following, but I wouldn't say that it's necessarily standing out just to be different. I feel like it was something that was just trying to tell its own story. But what I'm more or less getting on is just kind of the way some of the movie and some of the writing kind of came across. I won't say it's neither like negative or positive in a sense, but it was just, there were some moments within that movie that just felt like, was that really necessary?
Well, this kind of leads into another question. Is like, do you feel like if a movie like asks you as the audience a little bit more, or like is trying to be like a little bit more forthcoming with certain aspects, do you think that makes it pretentious or artistic?
Meaning what exactly?
Well, let me give an example. It's like, I brought up A24 a couple times in this. A24 is definitely like films that I feel like that some people have this interpretation that they're very artistic movies, because they definitely like, they try to like be very ambiguous with their meanings, or they have this feeling that like you can take away a different meaning because of like how vague the message might seem. And what I'm trying to say is like, do you feel like if a movie kind of like asks you to think a little bit more about what you're watching, does that make it artistic, or does that make it kind of pretentious?
That's actually kind of a tough one, because I feel like some movies are made with the vagueness in mind, for the fact that it can reach a larger audience based off of, so like, it could be a matter of somebody gets a different reading on the movie based on experiences that they've had in their life versus somebody else who might have had totally different experiences. So, yeah. Oh crap, this guy is on my ass.
And the reason why I asked that is because it's like, the person I was having this conversation with made a good point that like, for a lot of movies, like, they just want to sit back and be entertained, which I definitely can agree with. Like, sometimes yes, I want to sit down and just watch something as just to like, like void my mind, let it be mindless entertainment, just be, just hollow dopamine or whatever. But, when I'm watching something that asks me as the audience to maybe think about what I'm watching, or, give a little bit more of a critical view of it, does that make it a bad movie, or does it, again, in general, make it too artsy for a general audience?
Yeah, and that really is a tough question and tough thing to kind of elaborate on because I feel like I actually don't know how to go about explaining this.
It's a hard
So
question to answer for sure, but I feel like my interpretation is that like I think it's perfectly all right to like have a movie where it's like, okay, this is just mindless, mind-numbing entertainment, like it's just explosions, fight scenes, or whatever.
yeah,
It can still be fun, but I don't think that like a movie where you have to think a little bit harder on is necessarily like a bad movie. I think it can be put on par with that, and I don't think it's necessarily better that it's like it makes you think critically, but before we go further, different strokes for different folks. If you like one thing over the other, that's perfectly fine. But to me, it's like, I think it's okay for a movie to ask you more as an audience member because inherently they already kind of do that with suspension of disbelief and, a lot of story elements. Like, I don't really see it as far off as like a movie where it's like, oh, you have this alien Zulu warrior that comes to Earth because it's hot to hunt humans versus like, okay, let's talk about religion and like like the repercussions of like your family trauma or something. I think it's like movies already play with your expectations and like what you perceive about stuff. So I mean, I don't think it's wrong to maybe ask questions in them about like how do you feel about this subject in life, or how does it relate to that in a a visual or auditorial manner.
yeah, no, I do agree with you on that, and I think it really just comes down to different writing styles because there are some people who they thrive at writing movies or scenes or whatnot that are maybe heavier toward action and whatnot. And then you've got other people who like to give a more thoughtful process for the audience to kind of put their audience on more of, I would say, like a mental journey.
Yeah.
So kind of give them, like as you were saying, kind of give them something to think about. It could be a matter of, okay, what would I do if I was in this situation? How would I have reacted?
Yeah. And I think that, like what you said is the important distinction of like the writing style. It's just like there can be like just like an explosion of the senses, but there can also be like a journey of the mind in a way where it's like you do ask questions that are important versus like, okay, I just want to see where this takes me. One
Yeah.
can be a roller coaster ride, one can be food for thought.
And like you said, there's really no wrong answer in this, really, because everybody has their own likes and dislikes, and there's always going just like here with content creation. What I the content I make isn't going to cater to everybody, but there are going to be some out there who do enjoy the content that I make and want to see more. And if that be the case, then they can come back and see more. But
Yeah.
I'm not gonna admonish somebody for not liking my content because just because I just because the stuff that I make isn't what you like doesn't mean that it's necessarily bad content.
Absolutely, and I also think it kind of goes to the point of like you also shouldn't pigeonhole yourself as a viewer because it's like if there's something that like you like, you shouldn't be afraid to like view it, or in general if there's something that you're interested in, it's not bad to explore other avenues of like what you enjoy because you might like kind of have a passing interest in something, but maybe you just watch that video and you get interested in something. You just shouldn't like get stuck in a bubble of stuff that you like and stick with that always. You should always try to challenge yourself, or at least like try to explore a little bit
I agree
because you never know.
100%.
Because you never know, you might find something that you really like, even though that from afar you think, oh, that looks weird, but I kind of have an interest in it, only to find out like, oh, I really really like this.
Yeah, like for example, had I not back in college and whatnot, I took a chance. I saw an ad, saw an online ad about a blacksmith meet that was happening in the town that I was in. And I thought, okay, I'm not doing anything this weekend. I might as well go and check it out and see what this is all about. Had I not done that, I wouldn't have discovered that I enjoy blacksmithing and think it's a lot of fun. And on top of that, now I've also started to learn welding on top of that, and it factors in. But had I not taken that chance, I never would have known.
Oh, absolutely. And I've had the same thing. Like before I started like playing D&D, I thought it was like the lamest shit you could possibly do. Like I only knew what I heard in passing say, and I thought like it was the most lamest thing ever until I tried it and I realized like, oh, I love this. Same with like Warhammer. I thought it was like, oh, this is for like really like old grognards who just like to, beat shit together. And it's like, oh, I really like this hobby. But it's just like, again, just don't pigeonhole yourself. If you think you might like something, give it a try. And the worst thing you could do is like, oh, I don't really like this. I don't really like this or this in it. If that's the worst that it takes, why not just give it a little try if you have an interest in it?
And at least at that point, you can say that, hey, I've tried it, and I can definitively say that it's not for me.
Yeah, because it's like the same thing with like asking someone out. It's like if the worst thing they can do is reject you, then you already have like a bar set for yourself. Like there's really nothing to fear about trying it if you already know like, if you're prepared for the worst to happen, then you have nowhere to go but up.
Yeah. Worst a person can say is no.
Yeah.
And if they say no, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Move on.
And if they do worse than that to you, they really demean you about it, then they're a shitty person, and you probably you probably dodged a bullet at that point. Yeah.
Like
if they do worse things than you, yeah.
I've been there. I had a now again, I was back in elementary school, so I was a kid. But there was a girl I had a crush on. I did the corny thing where I I wrote her a note asking her if she would like to go. I don't even think being in elementary school, I don't even think I asked her on a date. I think I just asked her if she wanted to be my girlfriend. And I was being the awkward kid that I was at the time. I would, when we all left class and we went to our lockers to go to our next class. Actually, no, this wasn't elementary. This was middle school. This was either 6th or 7th grade.
The rough years.
Yeah, that was real rough.
I feel that.
Yeah, let's just say young Tristan was very, very awkward.
Yeah.
Especially around girls.
Yeah. But as most of us were.
But like I was being even more awkward at the time because when we would go out from class and go to our lockers to get what we needed for the next class, I was like peering around the corner to see if she'd open the note or whatnot. And I kind of wish I hadn't, because when I did finally see her open the note, she laughed about it and just kind of crushed my dreams.
Yeah.
So
I mean, but in all fairness, you got to cut yourself some slack, because that was like middle school. Like, every little thing mattered. Like, even like the smallest thing. Like, if you drop your lunch on the floor, that would have been like soul crushing in a way, right?
True.
It's just like that. It's just like middle school is just like that era where you're starting puberty. Everything's weird, and it's like the littlest of things are just like soul shattering to you for no apparent reason. It's like, oh, I dropped my sandwich, like my lunchbox on the ground. Like, I'm going to be depressed for the entire week about that. It ruined me. And you look back at it now, it's like, oh, who the fuck cares? Just pick it up and go about your day.
Yeah, really. It's looking back, it's amazing just how many things happened to me that now that modern day me, like today me, wouldn't give two shits about. I would have laughed it off and just said, you know what? If you're going to be that way, fuck you, fuck your nightmares, and move on with your life.
Yeah.
Because you are not worth my time.
I mean, but also in a lot of regards, hindsight is 20/20, you look back at those things and you also look at it, it's like, well, hormones just suck.
Where's that soap, bud?
Let me drop my soap real quick. But yeah, it's you're a kid. Every fucking little thing mattered when you were small. So I mean, it's only natural for it to be like, you look back at it, it's like, man, that was stupid that I cared about that.
Yeah. And looking back, I kind of set myself up for failure looking back at it, because I was not popular.
Yeah.
And like the whole popularity thing in school is complete bullshit anyway. It's the way that people define themselves based on popularity and whatnot within school is just stupid.
Yeah. But
But like,
here's the thing. I'm sorry to interject, but like this is a very important thing that I've kind of like wanted to know about. Do you think it's kind of odd and like almost like very weirdly visceral? Like no matter who you are in school, whenever you look at another person, you immediately know where you fall into the hierarchy of how that person views you. Do you not find that like weird, kind of weird and like
it is
oddly?
weird.
It's so weirdly tribalistic, but it's like it works just almost instantaneously. It's like you can look at a group of people
I think you
and
went to the
immediately
other
know
side, bud.
if you immediately know who they are, how they operate, and where you fall in terms of their views and like how you are like viewed. It's like I know that these are the jocks, and I know that I'm the fucking like dumb loser who never has a chance in hell of hanging with them. Do you not find that kind of like a little weird that like you immediately know that within almost like a split second of like seeing them?
Yeah, and I think that kind of goes back to human nature as well, because in a way, we're all kind of wired to recognize those things, whether or not we want to or not.
Yeah.
But the fact that it carries so much weight in, especially in modern day, is just stupid to me, because just because a person isn't necessarily popular at the time doesn't mean that they are not going to, I say become somebody. Like, for example, like some of the most unpopular kids from our school, because you and I, we went to the same high school.
Yeah.
There's a lot of there's a lot of people who would have been considered the unpopular people, the unpopular kids,
Yeah.
who are doing amazing things right now. Like I've seen some people where they're traveling the world. I've seen some people where they've got just a stupid, ridiculous paying job. Some are now, of course, there are some who also have not done anything, but it just comes down to the whole thing of you never know what a person is going to become or who they're going to become later in life. So why are we going to dictate people, like relationships with people, based off of a popularity contest?
Yeah, I agree, and I'm kind of just like pointing this because I also kind of had the point of like, when you're a kid, you also kind of like look at things in the most like simplistic like terms and views. Because it's like again, like kind of going back to like the whole like tribalistic aspect of it. It's like yeah, you look at them and you know where you fall like in terms of like their viewpoint of you and like kind of where you fit into. But it's also the fact of like like a lot of that comes down to like you just look at other people in very simplistic views. Like it's not that you dehumanize them, but like kind of bluntly, like you don't look at them as like people you'd interact with like outside of school in a way. Like I feel like that's an aspect like you think about your teachers, it's like, you only know them in this capacity. Like, you don't really like see them as like someone like outside of school or anything like that, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand that, but I mean, my whole thing basically kind of bringing it back around is I understand that there's always going to be people you don't get along with, and that's fine. But when you blatantly just disregard somebody just because you don't view them as being in the same social level as you,
Yeah.
you don't know what opportunities you might be missing with that person. Like you could become that person could be the next millionaire, and you possibly could have had an opportunity to work with them, but because you disregarded them and wanted nothing to do with them, guess what? You've missed that opportunity.
I agree, but to kind of like counter my own argument and kind of cut it a little bit of slack, like I don't think it's necessarily wrong that human beings kind of categorize like others in a way because it's like yes, it's intrinsically wrong in a lot of ways, but it's like that's just kind of what we do because human beings in a lot of like aspects of our lives to problem solve, we break things down into components or we try to quantify them in a certain way to like like kind of make them to simplify them down and kind of make them palatable for us. Now granted, if you like look at other people in a certain way that's like very negative just based off of like no real empirical evidence or really any compassion, yeah, that's bad. But like if you set an interaction you have with a person based on what you have compared to like experience in your life. That's not necessarily the worst thing in the world because that's just intrinsically what we do as people. Like it's just the way our brains are programmed to kind of view the world. So it's not bad to like look at people in a way. I think it's just like to take that and run with it and never change your perspective is where it becomes bad.
And you know, there's always bad first impressions.
Oh, absolutely, 100%.
So usually, when it comes to people, I typically give a new person a couple chances to kind of show me what their character is going to be like. But if their character is if that character doesn't show any differencing within that time period, and it's not something that I technically want to associate with, then I let it go at that point. But you got to give people those chances because I mean, I'm a living testament of that. I've had bad first impressions before, and luckily they were the people had a similar viewpoint as I do, and they were willing to give me like a second chance for like a first impression, which you don't always get that. And
Absolutely.
Now I don't know where I would be today without those people.
Oh, absolutely. So, and I think I've told you this before that in a lot of ways, like this is a very bad mentality to have with a lot of stuff, but I used to purposely give very not necessarily bad, but very extreme impressions to people about who I was when I first met them, because I always had this very negative interpretation in my mind that people would just inherently reject me, so I would purposely just be like the most extreme, exaggerated version of myself to like test people in a way. And granted, it's a horrible way to like do that because again, you shouldn't really test people for the sake of that. But I would purposely just be like an extreme, version of myself to like test people just to see like almost kind of like prove a point. Is like, look, if you can't take this exaggerated version of me, you're probably not gonna like regular me.
And somehow we're still here.
Well, I mean, it's just like what you said. Like you gave me that second chance, and it's just like I warmed up to you as a person. And it's like you got to see who I really was on a normal basis instead of the extreme version of who I was. And I naturally got over that because it's like I realized that like you shouldn't test people like that because it's like it's not up for you to do that. It's just like, you should let people kind of take you in the doses that they see fit, but also kind of like, not hide anything either.
Yeah. And I'm bad about that myself. I grew up in a very professional and business oriented family. So, I have gotten to the point where I'm pretty bad about putting on a mask for people at times.
Yeah.
And I really need to stop doing that because it's not a good thing. And I don't know how to put it. Basically, I just feel like I need to get over that and just start showing people the real me because I end up missing more opportunities because I'm not showing the real me.
I agree with that, and I can see where you're coming from, but at the same time, I don't think you should shame yourself for doing that because, like, that's just, to me at least, an inherent defense mechanism that people have. Because it's like, it's very scary to be vulnerable, so, and, you can't blame yourself for not wanting to be immediately vulnerable and, like, open with people because, like, again, it's a pretty scary thing to just like do out of the blue.
So for me, it's not necessarily like a defense mechanism as so much as it's a mentality that I grew up with. Like, for example, I was always taught that when you introduce yourself to somebody, you want to appear as professional as possible and not really be goofy, not really I'll say be goofy, but you don't like want to necessarily be you
don't want to create a negative first impression.
Correct. So basically be a good boy, do all the right things, and don't really be yourself, be a professional and make yourself and everybody around you look good. That's basically what it came down to. And there's the deacons.
Thank goodness. Room full of priests. Brings me back to my youth days.
Uh-oh.
Oh, But no, like I get where you're coming from. Like, yeah, it's just like, and to a degree, to kind of like go against that. Like, I don't think it's wrong to like you said, like you want to give a first impression to somebody because, like you said, like sometimes you don't get that, and you waste an opportunity to probably make a good stable relationship with someone. But I can also see the negatives is like again, like you said, you shouldn't put up a mask for yourself. You should like just be yourself and like let people, either accept you or reject you based on their own reasons.
I'm 100% agreed.
Yeah.
But I think we need to wrap this one up here. So
All right.
we let's see, we conquered the sage, we battled our way through the cathedral, and we just took out the deacons. So I think we're doing all right. It's not bad progress for one video.
Yeah, it's not bad because we've been going for about I don't want to say 2 hours is kind of generous, but
But anyway, guys, if you guys want to see more of Drunk Souls and more of our rambling, let us know in the comments below. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Take it easy.
All right, bye. Have a beautiful time.